So, Coach, appreciate you here today.
Right.
This is Andrew Gibson's PRT 266 interview project. Graciously appreciate Coach Burnett being here. So, your name, Coach?
Well, my name is D'Antonio Burnett. A lot of the players call me Coach Thunder, as you know. I'm a former student athlete here, played here at NC State, so it's a name that really stuck, and as long as they put a handle on it, I'm cool with it.
Okay, awesome. And I'm a fan of that name, so anyway. What did you attend college for? So what was like your major and your education here?
Well, in undergrad, I got my minor was in business management. My major was sports management. So I ended up getting a degree in sports management. I knew I wanted to get something in business, so I went that route. And then in grad school, I went through the MALS program, Masters of Arts and Liberal Studies. My concentration was higher education and sports management. Once again, I wanted to get something in the educational realm, and I knew I wanted to work in athletics. I always said one day I wanted to be an AD, and I've been blessed and fortunate enough that ended up happening this past January.
Okay, awesome, yeah. So I guess just from the time you graduated, how long have you just been working, just in the workforce?
Well, since 2003, I got released by the Pittsburgh Steelers. I signed with them as a free agent, made it through training camp, got released, came back here and started working. I interned with the football team, and then while I was intern as well, I was working as a personal trainer at Beyond Fitness Gym. So I was training, still working on and training, just in case I had an opportunity for a team to pick me up. That didn't happen, got offered an opportunity as a grad assistant. And then from there, the rest is history.
Cool. And so I guess really in your current profession, it started when you graduated, right? And the Steelers and everything, it's kind of just parlayed into that?
Yeah, well, as a player, I was always really good in the weight room, and I enjoyed training, lifting and things like that. And so once I got released from the Steelers, I was at a gym. There was a lot of people coming up to me asking me questions about things to do because they knew me from being a former player. So one of the owners of the gym, he was like, man, you might as well make money doing this. And so I was like, you know what, might as well. So I decided to become a personal trainer. I knew I wanted to be a strength coach or just to work in athletics in general. So when I came back to NC State, while I was interning, I was in the weight room as an intern strength coach, but I was also on the field as a linebacker coach, helping out doing both. And so I was blessed and fortunate enough to get a position as a grad assistant in the weight room, and I loved it. I enjoyed it. It gave me an opportunity to work with young men, and more than anything, to serve my university that I played for.
Okay, that's awesome. So I guess we kind of answered that one. So what would be like some of the basics of your profession? So just like an average day in the life.
Well, as you know, for us as strength coaches, we're oftentimes the guys that do a lot of the dirty work. You know, we're up early. My alarm clock go off at 5 o'clock. I get to work early. I love being maybe an hour and a half to work earlier than my staff, just to get my day prepared. I always get up. I have my routine. A lot of times the guys know my routine. I'm pretty disciplined and structured in that way. So I have my routine. Guys come in. I meet with my staff. We always go over the notes for the day. I treat this like it's a business. I tell people this isn't just a fun place for people to come and make a lot of noise. We spend a lot of time doing the educational stuff, continuing education. I hold my staff to a high standard. But we understand that more than anything, we're here to serve and to help this program grow. And I think that's one of the main reasons why I've had an opportunity to grow in the profession and grow so fast, because I treat this like it's a real business.
What are some of the responsibilities that come just with your position here with the team?
Well, my responsibility, I feel like I'm one of the guys that get a chance to see all the players. I spend more time with the players than the coaches do. To be honest, the players probably spend more time with me than they do with anyone on campus, because my job is a year-round job. And I understand that my job, I always tell people, I'm not offense or defense. I'm part of the culture of helping develop a program. And one of the things that I try to make sure, I never talk about winning with our guys, but I talk about success. And I look at success as winning that sustains, which means all culture and everything we do has to transcend into other parts of their life. So all coaching isn't just about standing on a platform, making a lot of noise and rah-rah stuff. I'm always trying to educate the guys about understanding what they represent. They represent some way bigger than themselves. And I always tell them if they're ready, they don't have to get ready, which means every opportunity you stand in front of someone, that's an interview. You never know. You may run into someone and they may be put in a position to give you a job one day. And the way you carry yourself represents us all as a whole. So I understand my job, and it's real important to me. As I mentioned, I'm a former student athlete here, and I understand that NC State has given me a platform and an opportunity to be a leader here. And it's amazing that just seeing these players, a lot of the guys, they start to take on my personality and the way I attack things in life in general.
I think just from being here around it a little bit, I think a small section of it, but it seems to me there's a lot of science behind what you guys do. And so just as part of your average day, how much of that science, whether it's nutrition or the training or meeting with the athletic training staff, how much of that is part of your profession?
It's a lot. And for me, my staff and I, we really use science in everything that we do. There are some programs that are very old school and they believe in the old school way of doing things. I believe in using some old school ways of doing it, but also adding in the science. I really do feel like the science help us make educated guess about things that may happen and helps us avoid certain things. I always tell guys when we start to look at, for instance, we start to look at injuries, one of the things we start to look at, what are the facts, what are the trends, and what are the possible factors. So if I can pull from all those areas and I start to look at the science of what we do, for example, looking at body weights and understanding when guys' body weights start to drop a certain percentage, their reaction time is going to start to be off. Their ability to be as powerful and as explosive as they could, it starts to take a significant drop when their body weight is down 5 to 10 pounds. And so my staff and I, we do a lot of continuing education. 3 days out of the week, we're doing continuing education. Whether it be roundtable discussions on Tuesdays. On Wednesdays, we do presentations, PowerPoint presentations. And then on Fridays, always something on leadership, a presentation on leadership. So we're trying to make sure that we're always on the cutting edge of technology and understanding the science behind what we do. And we are always explaining to our players the why, the reason why we do what we do, because that helps them grow. Not just all players, but I feel like my staff and I is the glue that helps hold everything together as far as everyone being on the same page with the science of what we do. I have a PAC performance group text that we're on, where I'm communicating with our athletic trainers, our nutritionists, and all my staff members. We're all on a group text. So if a guy comes in and his body weight is down, we can all communicate and get on the right page to make sure we're protecting the kid. We do urine-specific gravity testing, checking their hydration levels. So those days of just looking at the color of urine and saying a kid is dehydrated are pretty much over with. And then the last thing is we take all that information and we bring it to the table for the coaches also. With the presentations that we've done, we started to notice that a lot of the symptoms of concussions and the symptoms of dehydration are pretty much the same. So if we know that a kid is dehydrated, he may go out to practice and seem like he's a little out of it. Or a trainer may take him and look at him and be like, okay, he may have a concussion. We're going to put him through the protocol. We can also say, you know what, he's dehydrated as well. So let's put that as a factor as well. So once again, the science is important. We're always looking at our kids' workload and how many yards they run and their output. If they're in the red, we need to bring them down so that we don't overtrain them. Even with the way we do things in the weight room, we build them up and we have a deload week. So science is important. You know, you got to have science, but also you got to have some common sense too. You know, I'm a former player, so I understand a little bit about the nicks and pains of playing a full game and then coming in and having to train, and you know, there's things you start to see.
Okay, that's cool. Interview one time, he had a great quote about like how he got into movies. He was like, "I just wanted to be around. I didn't have to be a player or a coach. I just wanted to be a part of it somehow."
Yeah.
And he said he was at chef school, and he was like, maybe I can cater for the movie sets. And,
Yeah.
he was just around it. So.
And Gavin Johnson, he actually was a video guy.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if you remember Gavin.
No.
Gavin is actually a strength coach at Middle Tennessee State now.
Okay.
He was a video guy, and while he was a video guy, he was coming down here interning with us. Okay. And so he interned, and next thing you know, he left here and went to Nebraska and interned for a semester also. And then we were able to help him. One of my strength coaches ended up getting a director job, ended up helping him get a job with him as a strength coach. And he's a powerful kid. I mean, he came in as a little scrawny guy, and next thing you know, he started to pick up weightlifting, became really good at it. Coach Robert spent a lot of time working with him on cleans and stuff like that, and now he's a really good coach. I would hire him. Like, if I was to have a position open up, he would be someone on my list of guys like, yeah, come on in, come on back. I'm gonna hire you on the staff.
That's awesome. All right, we'll just do the last question, which was the memories, if that's okay.
Yep. Some of my fondest memories were having an opportunity to see my players like achieve their dreams, going to the NFL draft and seeing Bradley Chubb get drafted number 5 overall was a great memory that I'll never forget. I've never been to an NFL draft before, and it was a blessing just to see him achieve his dreams. So for me, it's seeing my players achieve their dreams, and whatever the dreams are. It's for some of the guys, it's being a husband and being a father. For other guys, it's making it to the NFL, and I've had plenty of my players inviting me to their weddings, and I just feel like I'm still a part of the family. So when I see them grow up and experience some of the things I've experienced, coming up through the ranks, it's always a blessing just to see them grow in their maturation process. So, and I look at myself as a servant leader. Once again, the more I serve, the more these guys are going to grow up and become men, because I always tell them football is a small part of their life. So what I'm trying to do is prepare them for life after football by giving them tools to get ready to attack the workforce and to be a husband and to be a father or to be a leader in a Fortune 500 company. Once again, just giving them tools. And it's amazing how all the things we teach them, once again, it transcends into life. It goes right into life. And James Smith-Williams already have a job offer from IBM, and he's not even close to being done with football. I'm quite sure he's going to make it to the NFL. But because of the way he carries himself when he did his internship this past summer, they were like, man, this guy is the type of guy we want to hire. Plus, he's very confident, which we're always teaching our guys about confidence and body language and the way they carry themselves and things like that. So, once again, just seeing my guys, reach their goals is the biggest and best things that can ever happen to me. The monetary stuff isn't important to me. That'll happen when you're good at what you do. But it's seeing my players achieve their dreams.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem, man. Thanks a lot for coming in, man.